What if death isn't silence? Over a century ago, one of the greatest minds in history, Nikola Tesla, claimed he picked up mysterious signals on his instruments. He thought they came from another world, but some believe they came from the other side. Was Tesla really trying to talk to the dead? Or did he accidentally tune into something that humanity was never meant to hear? In this video, I'm going to dive into one of Tesla's strangest experiments and the forgotten race among inventors to build a machine that could contact the afterlife. When Nikola Tesla arrived in Colorado Springs in 1899, the townspeople didn't know what to make of him. He rented a laboratory on the outskirts of town, a wooden, barn-like building that would glow blue at night, as if lightning itself was being summoned inside. He brought with him an enormous resonant transformer, what we now call the Tesla coil, and a radio receiver of such sensitivity that it could detect signals miles away, or maybe far beyond. One night, as lightning flashed across the plains, Tesla's receiver began to behave strangely. Tesla noticed that his instruments began to pick up patterns. Not random static, not electrical noise, but patterns that felt deliberate, spaced, and rhythmic. He later wrote,
"I observed electrical actions which seemed inexplicable. I felt as though I were present at the birth of a new knowledge. My ear barely caught signals that were unmistakably intelligent. The feeling is constantly growing on me that I had been the first to hear the greeting of one world to another."
These observations by Tesla started a century of debate. For instance, what do they mean by intelligent signals? Most historians simplify it by saying that Tesla believed the signals were from Mars, because at the time, Mars was believed to be full of canals and water sources, which meant possibility of life. But Tesla never actually wrote the word Mars in that context. He spoke only of another world and another realm of existence. This has led some to speculate, and this is where it gets controversial, that Tesla might not have been talking about aliens at all, but about voices beyond life itself, voices of beings lingering between dimensions. It made people wonder, was he building a bridge between the living and the dead? If you think about it, it's not an impossible scenario. Why? Because Tesla was obsessed with frequency. He believed that everything, matter, thought, life, was made of vibrations. And he believed that if you tuned your instruments finely enough, you could detect anything. Tesla became increasingly uneasy with the signals. He upgraded his systems, tested them, isolated them, rewired them, but the pattern stayed.
There was a purpose behind these electrical actions. They are not solar, they are not terrestrial.
Some researchers think Tesla was actually picking up Jupiter's radio emissions, or distant lightning, or early forms of atmospheric skipping. But others question, how did he, in 1899, decades before radio astronomy even existed, build an instrument sensitive enough to pick up cosmic signals? Unless his receiver was tapping into a frequency no one today even understands. A frequency that might include echoes of consciousness, memories, lives that once were. Whether you believe it or not, Tesla's writings after that night changed, becoming both more inspired and more disturbed. And that brings us to the strangest chapter in this story. Tesla was not alone in thinking that invisible energy could carry intelligent thoughts or voices. Around the same era, a wave of obsession swept through Europe and America called scientific spiritualism. People wanted to prove, through technology, that the afterlife was real. And right in the middle of it was Thomas Edison, Tesla's greatest rival. Most people know Edison for the light bulb, but they don't know he had a darker curiosity. In 1920, Edison told a journalist something that shocked the scientific community. He claimed he was working on a spirit communication device. He said,
"If our personality survives, then it is strictly logical to assume that it retains memory, intellect, and other faculties, and it is possible to construct an apparatus which will be sensitive enough to register such a being."
In other words, he was talking about a machine that could allow the dead to communicate through electrical impulses, a scientific seance, if you will. He called it a spirit communication device, which was later nicknamed the spirit phone. Unlike mediums and seances, Edison wanted actual scientific proof. He believed that if the human soul existed, it had to be made of some kind of fine matter, tiny particles or electromagnetic vibrations. Edison's detailed notebooks on the device mysteriously disappeared after his death. Some say his family destroyed them to protect his reputation. Others think the US government quietly took them, because imagine the implications if such a device did work. Later on, others tried to follow Tesla and Edison's footsteps. Konstantin Raudive claimed to capture voices of the dead on magnetic tape in the 1960s, the so-called electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP. In the 1970s, George Meek claimed he built a device called the Spiricom, a radio that dead scientists supposedly used to speak in full sentences. Even modern paranormal researchers use spirit boxes, scanning radio frequencies rapidly, hoping to catch fragments of voices. When they build replicas of Tesla's technology, they report hearing strange voices, music from nowhere, whispers and frequencies where no broadcast exists, and other strange phenomena. All of them, knowingly or not, owe their experiments to the works of Tesla and Edison. Now, before you think Tesla was some ghost hunter, he wasn't. He was a scientist through and through. Tesla himself never said outright that he was speaking to the dead. He just said he heard something alive, something intelligent. And that's what makes this story so haunting. Was he picking up early radio transmissions? Maybe even cosmic radio waves from outer space? Something we wouldn't understand for decades? Or did Tesla's incredibly sensitive equipment really tap into something beyond the physical world, a frequency no one else could hear? Even Tesla's notes suggest he was both excited and unsettled. He once admitted that he hesitated to publish what he heard because, quote, mankind was not yet ready for such truths. So what was he hearing? We may never know. But the fact that both Tesla and Edison, bitter rivals, ended up exploring communication beyond death is almost poetic. Two men who electrified the world, trying to shine a light on the afterlife. Today, Tesla's name is attached to everything from cars to conspiracies. But beneath the inventions and the myths lies a deeper question he left us with. If everything in the universe vibrates, then maybe consciousness, thought, memory, even soul, doesn't just vanish. Maybe it changes frequency. And if that's true, maybe it's not impossible to tune into it. There are researchers today still exploring what they call instrumental transcommunication, modern versions of Tesla's and Edison's theories. Most scientists dismiss it as noise or coincidence. But then again, so did many people when Tesla first described wireless electricity. In the end, whether Tesla ever truly spoke to the dead doesn't matter as much as why he tried. He believed that reality was far bigger than what our senses could perceive, that somewhere, hidden in the hum of the universe, lies a signal waiting to be heard. And maybe that's what he really discovered. Not ghosts, but the truth that there's more to existence than we can ever measure. If you enjoyed wandering through this strange corner of history with me, make sure to like this video so more curious minds can find it, and subscribe for more mysteries, forgotten stories, and the questions most people never ask. I am the boy who ponders, and even I am trying to figure out who, or what, is on the other end of the signal.